So, what do you want to do?
Roots Connections on Q, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. every other Wednesday on Q95, the big station. Dominicans journeyed beyond our shores for decades in search of economic opportunities and educational advancement. Many are ready to give back to their cherished nature island. Welcome to Roots Connections on Q. Join Dr. Simone Matthew on Q95 as we tap into the life and times and expertise of our nature island Dominicans, at home and abroad. From our agriculture and industry to sustainable development, resilience and renewable energy, to the music, art, and entertainment industries. Join Dr. Simone Matthew and guests every other Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We examine where they came from, where they've been, where they are now, and how we can move forward together with our brothers and sisters at home and abroad to inspire and elevate our country, our economy, our people, and our youth to achieve excellence and success. Roots Connections on Q, every other Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Only on Q95, the big station.
Good evening, Dominica, the Caribbean region, and the rest of the world. And welcome to another episode of Roots Connections on Q, right here on Q95, the big station. Wherever you're joining us from, whatever you might be doing at this time, I hope that you had a good week, and it is great to have you on board for another episode of Roots Connections on Q. And as a matter of fact, it is our 100th episode of Roots Connections on Q. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a couple of minutes. But here on Roots Connections, we feature the change makers in our community, the visionaries among us who are not sitting by the sidelines talking about what we should do, but instead they're on the front line, walking the talk and showing us what happens when we turn our passion for Dominica and the Caribbean region into action for our country, our region, and our people around the world, despite the challenges that we face. So we continue to witness how quickly the world around us is changing. So here on Roots Connections, we are committed to engaging with our visionaries as we explore topics such as the changes we should be concerned about, the changes we should be taking advantage of, and what changes we need to make in order to move our Caribbean region and our people forward. So this evening, as I just mentioned, we have a very special program for you because today is the 100th episode of Roots Connections. And you might be thinking, well, we've been here since 2021. So how are we only now on 100? But keep in mind, we are only here twice a month, the second and the fourth Wednesday of each month. And along the way, we've had to do a couple of repeat programs. So it does add up to our 100th episode. So we are very grateful for everyone who's been on board from day one and everyone who continues to support Roots Connections in one way or the other. So as always, we have another packed program for you as we continue to focus on opportunities to positively impact our people, our culture, our land, especially as it relates to sustainable economic development of our beautiful island. So this evening, we are very happy to be joined by Mr. Cedric Phillip, as well as Mr. Mars Beckford, aka Ollie Gold. And guess what, guys? They are all the way in Dubai. Yes, you heard that right. They're coming to us all the way in Dubai, where they will correct me if I'm wrong. But right now, it should be it is 8:04 Eastern Standard Time here. And in Dubai, I believe it's probably 4:04. So the very wee hours of the morning, but they're so committed to what they're doing that they were willing to join us at the wee hours of the morning. So we're going to be talking about from Dominica to Dubai as Dominica's music continues to penetrate the worldwide market. Is AI a threat or an opportunity? Because we have to continue exploring AI, because as much as many of us are repelled by just saying AI, we do not have a choice. AI is here to stay, and so we have to explore the opportunities that AI is presenting for us. So today again we are joined by Mr. Cedric Phillip, as well as Mr. Mars Beckford Oligo. So again, welcome to Roots Connections. Welcome to episode number 100. I'm your host, Dr. Simone Matthew. Before we get started, we always like to pray for our country, Dominica, and all the challenges that we continue to face. I see that folks are coming in on Facebook. So as you're coming in, don't forget to click the notification button so you will always know when we go live. If you're listening on the radio and you would like to see my guest, you can do so by jumping on the Q95 FM radio page on Facebook, or on Push Past 10 on Facebook, or on YouTube at Q95 FM Radio. Don't forget to share the live. These are very important conversations that we're having with great implications for our future. So I encourage you to share the live. We say good evening to you, Lambi. Thank you for being on the console, the Q95 family. Mr. G, showing our Norris and everyone who makes it possible to be here on this program. So let's go ahead and give a warm Roots Connections welcome to our guests, and we thank them for taking time out of their busy schedules to be here, and we thank them for being up at 4 a.m. Dubai time to be with us. So guys, go ahead and greet the audience. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and your connections to Dominica and the Caribbean region, and then I will go ahead and read your bio. So guys, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Simone. Good evening.
Thank you, Doctor. Thanks for having us. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, you guys are welcome. So just very briefly, who you are, your profession, and I know as Mars is from parents from Jamaica. So just your connections. And I have to tell you, I'm just going to say it off the bat, reading your bio, Mars, you sound like a bouillon.
Yeah, a lot of mixed up background, definitely.
I'm sure Cedric has explained to you what a bouillon is.
Yes, he has. Every day he gives me a little bit more of what Dominica has to offer, and it's been quite the experience, obviously meeting Cedric, but just for myself, growing up in a Caribbean household to two Jamaican parents, that's obviously quite the experience itself. And I was born in California and I made my way to Canada when I was 15. I've always played sports, so culture, sports, music has always been something ingrained, not only in my household but just in the community itself. And yeah, it's been quite the journey to make it here. I'll let Cedric obviously introduce himself, but that's just a little bit about me.
Excellent. So yes, Cedric, go ahead. And of course, I know Cedric through our dear friend Marvin Alpott. We all grew up in Dominica, Roseau, Goodwill area, Baptiste area, around the same time. So Cedric, nice to see you. It's been probably 30 years.
About that. Good evening, everyone. So Cedric Phillip from Goodwill, Dominica, currently residing in the United States, in New Jersey, but currently Mars and I are in Dubai, working on different business initiatives in the region.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, excellent. So again, thank you for being up in the wee hours of the morning to be here, and thank you for those introductions. So if you're just joining us, again, we have another packed program for you. We're looking at From Dominica to Dubai, as Dominica's music continues to evolve and penetrate worldwide markets. Is AI a threat or an opportunity? So let me go ahead and read your bios. Cedric, I will begin with you so we can have a better understanding of who you are. So here's about Cedric Phillip. He's from Goodwill, Dominica. He is the CEO of DTech Solutions in the United States, and he's currently in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, working on establishing the AI and cybersecurity business arm of his business. He attended St. Mary's Academy in Roseau. He worked at the Dominica Library before pursuing a double major in information technology, networking, and computer programming in the US. He worked in the telecommunications industry at AT&T and later T-Mobile, doing engineering in Seattle. In New York, he was employed at NTT America, a Japanese firm doing computer science, networking, telecommunications, IT, and cybersecurity, corporate investigations, forensic analysis. His career included working as a cybersecurity professional and technology researcher in engineering, manufacturing, pharmaceutical industry, water and wastewater for global corporations. And then, so that's Cedric in a nutshell. And then let me tell you a little bit more about our brother from another island, Mars Beckford. Ollie Gold is a rising global music artist and creative visionary whose sound fuses reggae, reggaeton, salsa, compa, kadas, zouk, R&B, soul, rap, pop, techno, and more into timeless anthems that transcend borders and cultures. You see what I told you guys? He's a booyah, right? He was born in California, raised in Canada, and rooted in his Jamaican heritage. Ollie embodies a powerful blend of influences that shape both his artistry and his outlook on life. His music is crafted not just to be heard, but to be felt. The kind of songs people play on repeat, sparking connection, movement, and meaning with stories of resilience, love, and unity. With an athletic background as a professional soccer player and powerlifter, Ollie brings discipline, energy, and intensity to everything he creates. While his official stage debut is still ahead, his artistry already blends swagger and soulful depth, delivering tracks that resonate deeply with listeners to build anticipation for powerful performances to come. Beyond music, Ollie Gold, known in the business world as Mars Beckford, is a pioneering entrepreneur. He is the co-founder of Numi Media Aura AI, an AI-driven healthcare and wellness platform transforming how people access care worldwide. The platform delivers real-time AI consultations in hair, skin, dental, and vital health, predictive visualizations of outcomes, and national health intelligence. By bridging patients, provider pharmacies, and insurers, Numi aligns with global initiatives like Vision 2020, Vision 2030 in the Middle East, and makes healthcare more accessible for locals, expats, and medical tourists. His dual path, artist and innovator, reflects Ollie Gold's belief that true impact happens when creativity and technology converge. Whether preparing for the stage or advancing world-class health tech solutions, his mission is to uplift lives, heal communities, and inspire people across the globe to imagine what is possible. So guys, I'm just going to say it off the bat. We can have like about 4 different episodes on Roots Connections just from your bios, right? So did I miss anything? Is there anything you would like to add to what I mentioned about you?
Not at the moment.
All right, so I nailed it.
Yeah, you definitely
All
did.
right, great. So I think what people are curious about, why are you in Dubai? So I think that is going to be the first thing people are curious to know, but also just how the two of you connected. So either one of you can feel free to chime in and just kind of let us know. Was it the Caribbean connection that brought you together? So what brought you together?
So Dubai is a welcoming place. We were invited by both the U.S. government, Canadian government, and the UAE government to take part into different events around AI and cybersecurity and emerging technologies. While in Dubai last year, Maz and I stumbled based on, you could say, a mutual friend, and then we just connected from there. Having Caribbean roots, it's easy to bond with brothers from the region. And then when we went back to North America, we continued the conversations, figured out, okay, we have the same initiative, the same goals. Why not just work together and collaborate, to try to reach out back into the region and establish our businesses in the region.
Yes. Anything you'd like to add, Mars?
Yeah, I mean, I was also going to say that we also kept each other informed on what's happening around the globe in terms of AI and our technologies. So we shared a lot of information back and forth, and that really helped us bond, I believe, quickly. And that's why we're here together, because we see a vision that we are trying to accomplish together now.
And just kind of tell us a little bit, without going too much in depth, just tell us a little bit about exactly what the conference in Dubai is all about.
So Dubai, you could say, is a region pertaining to global conferences from healthcare, aviation, shipping, defense. The conferences that we attended were focused around AI technology and emerging technologies, along with cybersecurity. For my conferences, we focused on AI and utilizing it for cybersecurity to protect and defend critical infrastructure sectors. That's my background and my expertise. Maz, it's a little different. He'll explain. But the whole idea is to, one, introduce new technologies into the region. They are focused on emerging technologies that align to the different countries' vision and investment projects, including Saudi Arabia. So we were invited to come attend, showcase our technologies, and then establish partnerships and collaborations in the region, and then see what else could be done in the region.
Mars?
Yeah, as Cedric mentioned, these conferences really focus on emerging technologies, obviously AI, and in my field, healthcare. Every nation, focuses on some type of healthcare and within their, system. So having AI integrated with what they're doing, especially here in the UAE, is a big focus, and in the Gulf region as well. So this is why a lot of people from around the world, and they usually call it the biggest conference for technology. This is why a lot of people come here, and not everyone gets invited. You really have to have good technology and good initiatives to come to this stage or platform.
Yeah, and I'm really happy you guys joined me today, because I think we have to give a lot of grace and a lot of patience to our audience, because I do get the sense that there's a lot of pushback, right? Yeah. That people are not very receptive to the idea of AI, because I think a lot of us are focusing on the negatives. I think a lot of us, so having guests like the two of you, I think it is important that during the conversation, we kind of just ease people into the opportunities that exist. Because unfortunately, I think we are just so hyper-focused on the negatives that we are missing the opportunities for the positive. And it's especially troubling to me when I hear our young people being resistant to AI, because I'm thinking to myself, our older generation, yes, we might be able to get away with not fully engaging with AI, but at the speed that AI is infiltrating so many areas of our lives, that if our younger generation does not adapt and adopt AI as a reality, they're going to miss out on major opportunities. So what are your thoughts on that before we get into the music?
So I will say you are correct, 100%. AI evolves, like we said, on the speed of light. So by the time Maz and I wake up tomorrow, there's going to be different models of AI, right? Different capabilities, different features. The competitive landscape has opened up. So no longer are large conglomerates, ahead pertaining to the emerging technologies. Right now, everyone has access to the open source models. Once you have a vision and an understanding on how best to utilize it, either to develop a new business idea or to grow your business utilizing AI. And most people don't understand what AI is. It's just an
Sorry, one
AI
second.
algorithm. Yes,
Mhm.
sorry.
Go ahead.
It's a computer algorithm, right? It's just a program that understands one data sets, vision, audio, and it understands it at the speed of light. You
Mhm.
could say it could probably take 200 million people to understand one component, what AI can process in 1 second. And that is how a lot of technologies right now are emerging and embedding AI as part of their overall ecosystem. This
Mhm.
allows us one to develop and adjust. And for the younger generation, I will say, please look into it. Try to figure out how you can encompass AI as part of one, your career, your role. It could be a hobby, right? Right now, here in the UAE, from kindergarten all the way up to the university level, AI has been made accessible to everyone in the region. And that is because they want to make the UAE the number one AI country in the world. We in
Yeah,
Dominica, we need to adjust. Yes, go
yes,
ahead.
and unfortunately, and I can't really fault the education system in Dominica, right? Because AI technically is still relatively new for a lot of us. You guys who are in the field, it may not necessarily be new for you, but for a lot of us, it's still relatively new. So I'm hoping that Dominica is moving in that direction to adapt. But maybe at some point, I can have you guys come back and just break it down like you were teaching this to like a 5-year old. Because I think a lot of people are still struggling to just grasp the concept of AI and the fact that it is artificial intelligence. So I think it would be helpful if somewhere along the line you can just come back and pretend like you're speaking to a 5-year old, so that folks like me who's not in technology, I'm not calling anybody a 5-year old. Folks like me who are not in technology can have a better understanding. But guys, let's get into the conversation as it relates to music. Thank you so much for the background information. And before I do, since we're talking about music, I'm going to play the song that you guys produced for me. And you guys surprised me with the song, but what you didn't realize is that it was my 100th episode. So what a lovely gift.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to play the song, and then the obvious questions folks are going to have is, how was the song produced? Who's singing? Who's singing the song? And a lot of other questions. From that, we will springboard into the rest of the conversation. So guys, take a listen, and I'm very grateful to Cedric and Mars for producing this song for me. So I'm going to play it right now. Take a listen.
Push past them, I'm so move alright. From the island straight to the sky. Doctor speak with a fire strong, healing us, lifting where we belong. From the Nika, the message clear. Hope and strength the world can hear.
Voices rise, the island proud. Push past them, we chant it loud. Unity, love, that's the plan. Caribbean love for every land. Push past them, we shine again. Love the leading hearts suspend. From the Caribbean head of gold. Push past them, strength for all. Push past them, we shine again. Love the leading hearts suspend. From the Caribbean head of
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Let me give you a round of applause. Thank you. And of course, Lambi would know there were two other versions of this song because I did a Facebook Live yesterday because I was so excited that you guys did this for me. There were two other versions, and Lambi hit it on the nail on the head when he said that is the version that reflects you, because the other version was more when you go to a gospel concert, right? And then the third version was nice as well, but this version is the version that represents me. So yes, Lambi, right? Thumbs up. Thank you. Yes. So tell us, now folks are curious. Tell us about the song. How was it produced? Who's singing the song? Go.
Yeah, so the song was produced obviously with the help or assistance of AI. Usually on these songs, it's my voice, and then depending on how I want it to structure and the message, the voice will either change or I can add voices on top of it. I use certain tools to make sure I get the sound that I want. And obviously, giving this song and providing it for you, there was a lot of things I want to make sure that it was captured. You really focus on wellness and obviously all these things that help people throughout their lives. So the sound, I wanted to be very upbeat, have that, that sound and that feeling when somebody listens to it, they automatically feel better. So that was the aim and focus on it, and obviously a tribute to you as well for everything that you do.
Yes, thank you. But I'm just voicing what I know my audience is thinking. So the lyrics, where did the lyrics for the song come from?
Myself. I come up with all my lyrics. Obviously, there's tools out there that can help you write lyrics.
Yes,
so anyone
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, anyone that wants to dive into, creating music or just lyrics itself, there's a lot of tools that you can use. Obviously, popular one, ChatGPT or Gemini, people can use that to create songs or poems. For myself, my background, I've always, like I said, I've been listening to music since I was in my mom's womb. So coming out, I was really into writing poems and writing different lyrics. And now with these tools and everything, I kind of put all my creativity together. So
and what platform did you use to create the song?
So I mean, there's a lot of tools out there. You have AI music maker for one. You can Google it and you'll find 10 or 20 different tools out there. So depending on what I want to use and how to get the sound out there, I can pick and choose. But usually when you find something that works with you, you just stick with it. So that's my message to anyone that really wants to dive further into it. Try a few tools and see what works for you, and then stick with it and really master it as much as you can.
Yeah, so this is a very exciting opportunity. And of course, we've had Sam George, who also did an AI song when Thea Lafont won the gold medal. So I want to acknowledge him as well, because he did a song to honor her success at the Olympics, at the Paris Olympics. So, and again, we're seeing more and more that this is going to come on stream. So how are we going to navigate this world? So we're going to have a lot of questions during the program with regards, for example, do you even have to have musical talent to now be a musician? So I think there are going to be some really genuine concern with regards to the implications of AI in music. We just did a program on AI with our books, how books are now being written pretty much by AI. So we explored that topic in depth recently, but now looking at the music and what is considered music, what is considered art? Is it the process of making a song, or is it the product? So we're going to have a lot of questions to explore during this program. But even before we do, just kind of tell us a little bit more about your collaboration. How did the conversation even get started to pursue AI music?
That's a great question. I mean, as you know, me and Cedric met in Dubai, and when we got back together, we always played music around each other. So that was kind of the start of it. And as we were in our and our passions about our projects, we stumbled upon some tools that would, create music. So, we started discussing, and one thing led to the next, and we just tried certain songs. And yeah, it just kind of came to be that, what we were doing and how we were focusing on it, and just my background alone, was really able to hone in on how to create certain sounds and different fusions of sounds. So obviously, Cedric coming from Dominica really inspired me to look further into the country's sound. So that helped me look into, what is bouillon and other Caribbean sounds that I didn't really tap into when I was younger. Obviously, being a Jamaican, we have dancehall, reggae, a lot of different styles that come from there. So a lot of the other Caribbean music gets overlooked, I would say, in the Jamaican community. But now meeting somebody else in the Caribbean kind of opened my eyes up to what's really possible. So this is, obviously meeting with him kind of opened the eyes to using AI in other industries.
Right. And how long would you say it takes for you to produce a song? I'm asking
It's
the
funny.
question the musicians in my head are going to say, well, why didn't you ask him that question?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how long you want the song to be, but usually you can take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, maybe longer.
Shorter. I clocked him. We did a song for a restaurant a couple nights ago. 3 minutes, 48 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
From writing the lyrics to producing it. 3 minutes, 48 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yes, let us just sit with that for a minute. 3 minutes to produce a song. Now, the reason I ask that is because we just, of course, Cedric would know who Cornell Phillip is. We recently heard of a huge collaborative effort between Cornell and a lot of different musicians in Dominica for a brand new release of a brand new Booyah track that they just released. I promise you, it didn't take them 3 minutes. Right? So do you see where the challenge is going to be? Where kind of like the resentment is going to come from the musicians, the pushback is going to come from the musicians who are spending hours and hours and hours on their craft. And now there's the ability to create songs in 3 minutes. Right. So what are your thoughts on that? And it's not to chastise or criticize, because like we've already said, AI is here to stay. And if you're not doing it, somebody else is going to do it. Right. So it's not criticizing, but do you understand what their concerns might be?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's we were discussing that today. We feel like, music in itself is evolving, and as you mentioned with the AI, of course, it's evolving quickly, and things can be completed a lot faster than the traditional way. But if you look at different industries, if we're discussing it with theater and movies, theater is something that is still around. People will take their time and go see a theatrical play. And back in the day, they didn't have movies, so the evolution to get to the movies. It's kind of something that we see as well with AI music. People will still go see live bands. People will still pay the money to go see them and have that type of entertainment, whether that's at birthday parties, weddings. That's still always going to be around. We're just creating, I feel like, a different avenue and different opportunities for people to express themselves with what's out there. And like you said, if we're not going to do it, somebody else will. Right. And I think with us in this position, we're able to bring, the music from our roots with us, and also share it with the world at lightning speed, really.
Right. So how long have you guys been at this, and how many songs would you say you have at this point?
So I've been at this, I would say 3 months.
3 months.
But as I mentioned, I've written songs before. I've done these lyrics, but with this, you mentioned how many songs? Well over.
Be honest.
Well over 300. No, I mean well over 1,000.
Okay, thank you for being candid. So in
No,
3 months,
more than that.
over 1,000 is more than that.
Almost 2,500 songs.
Okay, so let's say 2,500 songs. All right, so now let me ask you this: are the songs being, uploaded to Spotify? Are you guys selling the music? What is your goal? Are you looking to make a profit? What are your goal with creating the music?
So, so right now we're just testing the waters. So
Okay.
we've Mars produced a lot of songs. I help write lyrics.
Mhm.
It's not easy. So yes, AI understands music to a certain extent, but if you ask AI to create Booyah music, it doesn't understand.
Yep.
So to give you an idea, I had to give him a training course on going back all the way from Serenade, WCK, Wagon Train, our Juve, Jingping, Lapu Kabwit, and we stuck on trying to figure out, okay, how do we tell AI that they're using the shack and the little tin, the brake axle, and they're using an iron.
Yeah.
It couldn't understand this, so we
Yeah.
had to try to capture that song and train it on that component.
Mhm.
And then if you're like Cornell, he understands the musical notes, the strings, how to compose them. It's the same thing. So you can't just use AI to create music just like this. You have to have that musical talent and understanding when to infuse them together, right? The notes, high, low pitches, the string, because we've mixed salsa, merengue, zouk compa. We've actually gone all the way back to some of the Cuban string guitars for some of the opening of some of our songs. And you have to train the AI on how to use it, the pitch, the notes. So it's not that easy. Yes, it helps, but it's not that easy to put together.
Right. And with all Cedric is doing to immerse you in our culture, Mars, I'm just going to adopt you as a Dominican.
I
because
appreciate it.
because it sounds like you're getting a true history lesson. And I'm not sure if he mentioned to you, but part of the concern with what we're talking about is that Dominica is steeped in the culture of music. I'm not sure if Cedric has told you, but we created two genres of music. Right? So we created Kadas Lipso with Gordon Henderson and Exile One back in 1973. And then we also created, well, I say we because it's, my people.
Yeah.
But Cornell and Ra and a bunch of other guys created Booyah, WCK band around 1989. So, of course, that's what me and Cedric grew up on.
Right.
Right. So I think that is where it is going to be heavy for our musicians because of the amount of work that they've put into this. And now to hear that in 3 months, you guys have created 2,500 songs. Right. So the thing about it is, at least for now, it's sounding like to me that the AI has limitations when it comes to the purity of our music, because I remember when Cedric mentioned to me, what is my favorite type of music? And I said, Kadas. But if you listen to the song, you hear more of an Afrobeat.
Right.
Right? So at least for now, it seems like the AI cannot really duplicate exactly our genre of music. And I've even heard, because I've spoken with Sam George, he's telling me that even Calypso, because then I was asking him, well, what is to stop anybody from just using AI to generate Calypso for a Calypso competition during the carnival season and just sell it to the Calypsonians in Dominica, completely cut the likes of Ian Jackson and Pat Aaron and all the wonderful songwriters, Shelley from Signal Band, just completely cut them off and undermine them by having AI Calypso songs. But guess what? The AI cannot produce our Calypso as we know it today. It can produce the Calypsos from the 50s, but not our Calypsos as of right now. So in a way, I think that is still good news for our musician, but the question becomes, for how long? Right? The question becomes, for how long will they be able to the AI will not be able to do this? But then it begs the question, going back to your songs. So what about live performances? How would you do a live performance with your song?
There's some songs that I will perform eventually live. I mean, they are my songs, so I know them. And there's others that I see other artists on. So I do create a lot of songs, a lot of different genres that, we've talked about, having certain artists on these tracks. And that is the vision. I mean, I really just want to bring good vibes, great music to the world, whether I'm performing them or other people. And I think, you go to your traditional producers, they create a vault of music. Some do perform on them, and others they just hold on until they have the right person to sing on it, rap, or whatever they want to do with it. So that's kind of what we've done at this point.
Okay.
We've created a vault of music, different genres, different fusion, different sounds. And when the time is right, the world will hear it. So,
and I think what is important to recognize as well is your ability to create the fusions, right? Your ability to create the fusions of the different music, because reading your bio, we saw all the different genres of music. I mean, I don't think you missed anything. I can't think of a genre you missed. So
yeah, I would say you can thank my parents for that. Growing up, yes, we listened to reggae, dancehall, but my dad at the time, he was a fan of Rod Stewart, and my mom loved Shania Twain. So it was just always a mix of different music in the house. My grandmother, from Mo Bay, she was a big Bon Jovi fan. So, there's always a mix of different sounds within my household. So my ears were always attuned to different things. So that was a part of my upbringing, and I wanted to create music for everyone. That's been the mission, and good music too, not just things that people will not like, or it's for all ears, really, what I try to create.
Well, I mean, I think folks can hear the quality in terms of what you produce. And guys, don't forget, if you miss any part of the program, you can always go back and catch the replay by going to YouTube and Facebook, Q95 FM Radio on Facebook and YouTube, or Push Past 10 on Facebook. But something you said, Cedric, kind of stuck with me when you said you created a song for a restaurant. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, how that opportunity came to be?
For us, it's easy. We will pass by an office, we'll see a slogan, we say to ourselves, well, when we get back, we're going to make a song based on this. So we visited one of the Trini restaurants close to the marina, and we said, okay, they had a live DJ set, they have a karaoke, they have a stage. So we asked them, okay, well, what songs do you have to represent the business? And they said nothing. So we said, okay, we're going to put something together. The following day, we went back to the restaurant and we played the songs for the owners, the managers, and they loved it. With that, we started developing songs for different clubs in Dubai, and I mean, you could say Grammy quality winning songs. But right now, what we're trying to do is just do an initial slow release, promotional release. And then we're going to flood the market with all the different genres and all the different songs all at once. So we're putting the platforms together. Again, they will be supported by AI. Sadly, AI helps us a lot, but we have to embed AI as part of it. But the whole idea is not to isolate any one region or one genre. We want to accommodate everyone. And that has been our approach. We've seen several business opportunities for live events, different clubs, restaurants, and most important, Maz's skill is something that I've only seen once. Cornell, thank you. But he can produce a song between 3 to 5 minutes. If it's something difficult, 15 minutes. And we said, okay, what if we do live performances where patrons or event hosts reach out to him, and we can put the song together specifically for that event or for that guest. This is something that has not been done anywhere in the world to our knowledge. And this is our approach and our introduction of utilizing AI into the music scene globally.
Yeah, and again, drawing on the benefits, right? Drawing on the benefits, because if you notice at the beginning of the program, I mentioned change is the only constant. And so I know many of us, whether we're from Dominica or the rest of the world, humans by nature, a lot of us, I'm not one of those. I love change. I find change very exciting and invigorating. I love change. But in general, people tend to be resistant to change. They just are not open to adapting to change. So I think this is a very important business opportunity. And so for those who are listening on the radio and will watch us on Facebook and YouTube, if you have a business and you're looking for a song, right, for your business, here's your opportunity. And I'm going to share your information towards the end of the program. And take into consideration the fact that Cedric and Mars are all the way in Dubai, and they were able to produce the song and send it to me in Georgia, right? So the world is now flat and the opportunities are endless. And the other thing, speaking of change, is that we are responsible for navigating this changing world. Whether we accept it or not, we are responsible for navigating this changing world. And one of the things I have constantly been encouraging our musicians to do is not only stick to the music. So many other performers outside of Dominica are making money on merchandise, for example. And I was so happy to see Signal Band a couple of days ago launch their merchandise store, right? And here you have, and I'm just going to say it, you know, folks can get upset if they want to, that's okay. Here you have the Dominica Calypso Association. Every year, they're begging for money. Oh, the funding is not enough. The prices of the tickets are not enough to cover our expenses. Well, you've been in existence for what, 40 years? So how have you embraced other opportunities to make money for the association outside of the once a year Calypso shows? Calypso happens during Carnival at the beginning of the year, and that's it. What is the ongoing effort? Everybody has a popular song. Why aren't there T-shirts and other merchandise being printed so that they can be sold during Carnival, and they can also be sold at this time of the year, Independence time, where a lot of Dominicans are coming to Dominica. So what are your thoughts? Because the other avenue, I'm not sure if you guys have thought to pursue this, but another avenue is advertising, right? So you have the ads running on the radios. And I hate to say it, a lot of those ads right now are being done by our local musicians. But if you don't do it, somebody else is going to jump in and say, hey, for a fraction of the price, because that's what it boils down to, I can create you a song in 10 minutes. What are your thoughts?
So being from Dominica, I'll step in. That is a good idea, right? You have to promote your brand, you have to promote your song, you have to monetize it as best as possible. The world has shown right now that it's a flat playing field. The person with the best idea, the best way to market and generate sales from it will come out ahead.
Yeah.
Most important is we in Dominica tend to keep our songs local, our genre local. I'll explain this to you. When we arrived in Dubai, a friend, fellow Dominican, Martin, you should know Martin later, told me,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
we have Carnival in Dubai.
Martin. Yeah.
I said, Martin, you're serious? He's like, yes, they have Carnival in Dubai. I said, but it's an Arabic country. He's like, no longer. Right. So you have Trinidadians, Jamaicans, St. Lucians, Dominicans also, a lot of Dominicans in Dubai. So we're not isolated to just the Caribbean region or Brazil. It's opened up. It's the same way we have to take the approach to put it into our music. Now, I was told Buyo is a little bit too harsh at times. Yes, we have local bands now making it more receptive to the listener globally, right? Meaning removing the profanity from the Buyo component. We don't always have to be using the profanity pertaining to the songs, because how are you going to promote it outside of Dominica? Exactly. You have to adjust. And if you don't adjust, you're going to be replaced. Right now, we have St. Lucia, St. Kitts, Grenada especially now, have come out with their own version of Booyah called Jab Jab. And yes, the profanity is still there, but they're monetizing it. Right now, it's been infused in Trinidad, in soca. So what are we doing to evolve Booyah beyond Dominica's borders? We have to think of this. And now with AI, the sky's the limit. Anyone who figures out how to infuse these genres into together and expose them outside of Dominica, they will monetize it. And this is probably our suggestions to the bands and musicians in Dominica. You have to start thinking outside of the Dominica continent, the Dominica country. The world is a flat playing field. You have to get the music out there. It doesn't always have to be profanity for Dominica, yes. Outside of Dominica, open it up, clean it up. They will
And,
listen to it.
and you know, I'm so on board with you, Cedric, because the excuse that I hear a lot, and I'm completely opposed to the vulgarity in the music. I will never support it. I will never have one of these guys on my programs because I do not support it. If they come on the program, it will not be to talk about their music. It will be talk about something else. Because I did have Mr. Ridge one time on the program. But the excuse is always, well, the profanity sells. That's not true. And I go back all the time. Signal Band, my band, Signal Band, not one profanity in not one song. And they're the most popular band out of Dominica right now, right? Because guess what? They actually write lyrics, and they write good lyrics. I think a lot of it is because, you know, it's something is lacking. Like our young men think a beat is a song, and a beat is not a song, right? Just to be chanting something over and over and over again, and then inserting some vulgarity, degrading women, it's not a song, right? So spend the time and get the lyrics written properly. Pay Shelley to write the songs for you, and then you will have good quality music that will take you into the world. But here's the question that comes to mind, and in a little while we have to go over to the studio to give the phone numbers. But here's the question that comes to mind, Mars. What about an opportunity to collaborate with the traditional musicians? So how about you and Cedric? Because I'm always looking for, how do we navigate together? How do we not create a divide? But how do we navigate and create the synergy to elevate? So what about the thought of a potential collaboration? Let's say, you know, you and Cedric and Cornell Phillip, who's a legend in music in Dominica. What are your thoughts on that?
I love the opportunity. I mean, working with artists in general, that's always been a goal of mine. And yeah, obviously working with the legend would, you know, that's where I was a couple months ago to now to even start talking about this is, you know, it's amazing, really. So I do welcome it. And I look forward to, you can say it's a challenge or just the opportunity itself to either create something new or bring something to a new level. So that's where I see things going, really.
Yeah, Cedric, any thoughts?
Yes, so as we're producing, as Maz is producing songs, I try to picture the different bands now in Dominica. One that stands out that has always stood out to me is Serenade. Why? They do the brass.
Yes.
They're unique. And Christopher and team will be reaching out to you for some songs that we have later on. All the other bands, yes, we identify, including Issa. I will never forget you. You're moving Booyah beyond our borders. Thank you very much. So we try to picture different artists, not just in Dominica, Trinidad, Jamaica, and so on, including one gentleman, Adamo from BVI. I'm sorry, from US Virgin Islands. We have some songs for them, but eventually we will be reaching out to them directly, to their management teams, pertaining to whether or not they would like to collaborate on, you know, either singing the songs or we creating the songs for them.
And you know, I'm always anticipating what could potentially happen, because I will tell you from what I've heard from the musicians on the ground, and I'm not calling any names.
Okay.
They're kind of resistant to the AI thing. So how would you convince them, right? How would you convince them that this is more of an opportunity than a threat? How would you convince them that this is something they need to get in on now? Because if they wait too late, chances are they're going to become extinct. And that is the reality. Okay, the next 20 years or so, music is not going to look the way music looks right now. So how would you convince them?
I mean, for me, it's not. I wouldn't say I try to convince people with my music. I mean, I curate it to create a vibe, create people to feel a certain way when they hear it.
Mhm.
So for them, just listen to it.
Mhm.
And if they really like it, they really want to see where things can go, then yeah, let's collaborate. But me and myself, obviously with Cedric and where we are now, we're just gonna keep on going. Nothing's really gonna stop us or derail us from our goals. But we do want to elevate, our cultures and our roots along with us. So, we do want to collaborate, but we are gonna keep on going. You can say this rocket ship or whatever you want to call it, any way or ship, however you want to say it. We're going to keep on going. And we want to make sure that we are bringing good music to the world. Even with myself, with the lyrics, I don't have any profanity. I always try to keep it clean. I have some songs that are fun, witty, you can say flirty sometimes. But for the most part, they really just are really good sounding songs.
And it's really not your job to convince them, quite frankly.
So I have one take on this.
Not your job. If they're on board, they're on board. And if they're not on board, I hate to admit it, but you move on to the next person who's open to the idea.
So I have a take on this, right? And they will be adamant, some will may oppose, but here's the thing. Back then we used drums, we used guitars. Right now we have mixers. We have digital mixers. You can do a drum set, you can play an entire tune, record it, and now you use the mixers to continue this. Again, that's a basic form of AI. It listened to the tunes that you were playing, it recorded it, and now you can repeat that any given time. Now it's the next evolution of AI where it does it on its own. You tell it the beats, the strings, the chords, and it does it on its own. It's just the evolution. You can't resist it because it's global. Minus the North and South Pole, for now, AI is everywhere. So we can remain in our little enclosure and say, okay, we're going to continue doing it our own way and get beat out of our own genre that we created in Dominica. So it's either we get on board and start adjusting, or we lose out on the opportunity that exists now.
Yeah, because I promise you, islands like Trinidad, which is the mecca of soca music, and Jamaica, I promise you, they are looking at opportunities to integrate AI into the music. And you're right, Cedric, because for a long time, people were opposed to electronic music. Right. People were opposed to hi-fis. Remember those days?
Yes.
When for Carnival, Wadi Kole and Wadix and Ole and these guys, how people push back against, this hi-fi, playing all this loud music. Let's go back to steel pan on the road. Yes, I love me some steel pan. I used to play steel pan, but we cannot. The world continues to revolve and the world continues to change. And if we don't adapt, what it boils down to is we're going to miss out on opportunities. So we have a lot more to talk about, guys. Take a sip of water if you need to. Let's go over to the studio to Lambi so he can give out the phone numbers for anyone who might be interested in chiming in on the discussion. But great job so far, guys.
Thank you. Give me 1 second.
Yes.
Roots Connection Q. The numbers are as follow: 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257. Those are all local numbers. The overseas or international number, 305-432-9624. Let me run those numbers one more time. 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257, 305-432-9624. Back to you, Simon.
Yes, thank you for that. And let's go ahead and enjoy do we have a call coming in? Yes. So let us go ahead. You have a call, Lambi?
Yes, we do.
Yes. Okay, we have a call coming in, guys.
Good evening, caller. Thanks for joining us. Please go ahead. Caller, please go ahead with your call. The caller is there, but I'm not hearing anything, so you may
Okay,
proceed.
they'll call back. So Lambi loves the song so much. He asked me to play it again, so let's play it again. And then I'm gonna play. Maybe we can play two more. So I think we have the Cata Slips. Well, the tribute to Creole season coming up next. So let's enjoy a tribute to Dr. Simone Matthew. Thank you, guys.
Push past the dumpster roof, alright. From the island straight to the sky. Doctor speak with a fire strong, healing us, lifting where we belong. From the nick of the message clear, hope and strength the world can hear.
Voices rise, the island proud. Push past them, we chant it loud. Unity, love, that's the plan. Caribbean soul for every land. Push past them, we shine again. Dr. leading hearts ascend. From the Caribbean here to go. Push past them, strength for all. Push past them, we shine again. Dr. leading hearts ascend. From the Caribbean here to go. Push past them, strength for all.
Mental health and true she bring. Voices so when the people sing. Breaking silence, breaking chains. Push past them, run through our veins.
Every show the fire grow. Caribbean light the whole world know. Dr. Simone, your star will glow. Push past then we run the show.
Lift your voice and let it spread. Push past them, the world is fed. From the Caribbean shore so wide. Doctor leading, we march with pride.
Push past them we shine again. Dr. leading hearts ascend. From the Caribbean here to go. Push past them the strength for all. Push past them we shine again. Dr. leading hearts ascend. From the Caribbean here to go. Push past them the strength for all.
Holy Ghost.
Yes, so thank you again. And I also want to thank DJ Sean at Q95 FM. I want to give a very special thank you to DJ Sean because he always pushes our music. Folk send me their music all the time, Dominican music, of course. And the minute I ask him to play our music, he puts it front and center. So DJ Shan, a big shout out to you. Yes, I will be sending you that song and a couple of versions of it so that you can play it as well. But guys, I'm going to play some of your other songs. But tell us about other business opportunities you can see potentially coming from what you're doing. Because again, I'm seeing missed opportunities for so many of us who remain resistant. So you talked about potentially writing songs for restaurants. You also talked about, producing your own music and eventually getting to perform it on stages. But what about the idea of teaching this? Teaching this as a course, and our Dominican people, Cedric, we want everything for free, right? I don't believe in things for free. I believe if you want to learn a new skill, and this is a new skill, I believe that you should be investing in yourself by paying for a course. So do you have any thoughts on, just tell us other business ideas that you're potentially brainstorming at this time? And I'm going to pull up the next song I want to share with the audience. So go ahead, guys.
So the answer is yes. We are working on several initiatives to bring our technologies not only to Dominica, but the Caribbean and then Latin America eventually. You are correct pertaining to providing training courses, labs, exercises. What we've seen also is that in the countries, especially in Dominica and environs, right, in the Caribbean, Africa, also Latin America, there are a lot of students, a lot of kids with potential. However, they don't have access to the technology. So therefore, they are never able to One, showcase their talent. And this is what we want to do for different initiatives that we're working on in the region here. In Dominica, I think if we collaborate, we can provide that vehicle to the students that are willing to learn, right? Especially in Dominica. One thing that we've seen is that there are a lot of bands in Dominica, right? And it's because, again, everyone has some musical talent, right? But getting access to the instruments, they're expensive. So I think there should be some way, some summer course or some ongoing training that we can introduce the students to musical instruments, not just music, but digital media, content marketing, and then provide these services not only within Dominica, but also the wider Caribbean and outside the Caribbean.
And what would that look like? For example, what would a training course look like? Would you use maybe Zoom? Would it be on the ground? And do you have a plan in place for executing this at this point in time?
Currently, we have a plan, but we're still in initial discussions because, again, it requires funding. It requires collaborating with different government leaders. So once that is in fruition, we will have a discussion and we'll more likely present it on your show.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. So we have a couple of people on Facebook joining us. Peter Thomas, good evening to you. Gail Bruni, I think, Cedric, you might know who that is. Shara Georges, very nice song. You get Scintilla says, I view AI in music as a move to dollars and cents from pounds, shillings, and pence. We must immerse in the new modern way of doing things. So I could not agree more with you, Yugat. So guys, thank you for sharing your business ideas. But let us kind of get into, the ethics. I think a lot of people will be like, well, let's get into the ethics of all this AI and music. And again, I am a proponent of AI, so I'm asking those questions from that standpoint. Because one of the things I can imagine our musicians saying is that at this point, you don't have to have musical talent to be a musician. Because yes, Mars Oligo is a musician, but for someone like me who has mastered the technology, I can simply pull up an AI music platform, and there are prompts where you don't even have to write the lyrics. You can just say what you want the song to be about, prompt the AI, like they would say. So all those terms you're going to have to teach us when you come back and give us an intro to AI, right? So all you would need to do is prompt the AI what you want to sing a song. I want to sing a song about a beautiful Caribbean girl. I was in love with her. She went to New York. She met another man. She married him, but I'm still in love with her, and I would wish she would come back. That's an AI prompt. Okay.
Right. You just created a song in under a minute, so there you go.
So that is what, guys, if you're listening and you're not too familiar with AI, that is what we mean when we say a prompt. So instead of when you go on Google, you just put like one or two words. With AI, you can put an entire description, and that applies to everything, right? So recipes, hairstyles, fashion, whatever. The prompt is the description that you're putting into the AI. So for example, ChatGPT, you go on the internet, you Google ChatGPT, you create an account. I'm actually doing an AI course right now, guys, because I think it's important. I think it's important to keep learning and growing. And then you put in the description and you tell the AI to create that song. So back to my question, right? This is now significantly lowering the bar to entry into music, right? For example. So what are your thoughts on that? That folks are probably thinking, well, you don't even have to be a musician at this point to create music. So what are your thoughts? And you can say I'm right.
They're right in a way. They're right in a way. I mean, they're correct in a way. The way I've always viewed it now With all these tools and everything, I view it as, you have all-star equipment and tools to use to create music. And I see myself, sometimes as a coach. If we go back to, if anyone watched basketball, you go back to the Jordan era. He had a superstar team, but there was an orchestrator, Phil Jackson, as the coach. So you have to know when to, implement certain things, take things out, and really guide what you have in front of you to get to the goal. So yeah, you can obviously write whatever prompt you want, and AI will give you, something. So yeah, anyone can create a song, anyone can sing. But does that really mean that it's good? Is it good content? Does that align with your morals and values? So there's a lot of other things that go into, just creating a song and making it widely available for people to enjoy and listen.
Yeah, and what about the argument of, well, considering you've created about 2,500 songs in 3 months, that there's the potential to now flood the market with AI music and potentially put real musicians at a disadvantage?
It's a good argument. I mean, we can go back to, the YouTube days when it was open and still open to everyone. People can create hundreds and thousands of videos of them doing whatever. But if it's not good, if it's not good content or good quality, or it doesn't align to, your culture or roots, people are not going to pick it up. So I can make 10,000 songs and release it all today. But if nobody really, is sticking to it or really adapting to it or really loving what I'm putting out, it's not going to really matter. So this is why, I do listen to everything. I have a good ear, I believe, to what comes out, what I produce. And, just hearing the reception of people listening to my songs just kind of makes me know, okay, well, I do have something here. I'm not just throwing anything out there that sticks on the wall and just hoping, okay, crossing my fingers that, people will like it. There is a bit of, as Cedric would say, skill, art to it. So this is something that we, as you mentioned, would love to teach in the future.
Yeah. Now, have you had any interactions with any musicians? Have you had any experiences where you've asked them to listen to your music and you got their responses, their reaction? I think that would be fascinating to know about.
Yeah, I mean, on my side, I mean, there's local musicians here, so just even reaching out to them and just, some of the people you run into just in Dubai in general is filled with a lot of talented people. So yeah, you run into them, you have them listen to, the songs that I come out with. And a lot of the time, most of the time, they are really impressed with what they're hearing. So that's always, a bonus. Sometimes it's surreal to me because, these are talented people. They're trained people for many, many years in what they do. And for them to, be receptive what they're hearing and actually want to know, okay, how are you doing this?
Yes.
And yeah, it's just, it just speaks volumes to, what we're trying to do, really.
And that should be the response. The response should be, how can I get on board and work with you so that I get to enjoy the advantages, right? Rather than saying, wow, you guys are cutting corners. You guys are taking the easy way of producing music. And, 3 months, 2,500 songs. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's a human being on the face of the earth who's a musician who has created 2,500 songs in 3 months. But I want to, I don't want to forget to play the music because I want to show your diverse range. So let me grab another song real quick, video file. Let me just get to it real quick. But guys, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I hope that you get to go back to bed. Because what is the time now? After 5 in Dubai?
It's coffee time.
It's coffee time, yeah.
So are you guys going straight to a conference after this? What's going to happen after this interview?
Get breakfast and then go to work.
Yeah.
Oh my, wow. All right, so let me play this one so we can, there we go.
Welcome to Dominica, the Caribbean jewel. Are you ready? World Creole Music Festival. Oh, Dominica, Saint Lucia, Grenada, Jamaica, Antigua, tout moun ka vini la. Oh, Haiti, Guadeloupe, Martinique tout. Leve drapeau, this fête for you. From Roseau City to Bayfront Stage, Creole Flampio Festival Rage. Tambour olé, gal kasoué, chanter ensemble Dominica ouais. Lumière dans les couleurs qu'a brillé, tout famille en fête à souhait. Compas ou bouillon machi top, levez rideau, everybody jump. 3 nuits nous pas dormi, Dominica c'est chalet bien deep. World Creole Music Festival alive, nous qu'a danser till the sunrise. Easy ba, énergie sorti loin, presse là. Oui Dominica, the world unite, festival à c'est ultimate vibe. Bouillon time. Tambour masé, bracelet clashé, baseline ka gronde, femme ka bougé. Dominica, bouillon c'est bagay là. Ouh. Dominica chérie, festival d'amour. Dance compas style toute la nuit toujours. Fini zouké, gal keep it tight. C'est la mounou, Caribbean night.
Dis 3 nuits,
No pas dormi,
dis Dominica,
avec compé,
dis UpCMF,
leve the high.
famille Caraïbes, touch the sky.
In a noise, festival, do me what it is, we Dominica, hear the sound, Creole heartbeat, shaking the ground, compa, bouillon, zouk, collide, who be say mef worldwide, compa, bouillon, zouk, collide, who be say mef worldwide.
Bienvenue en Dominica, côté qu'elle a, pas jamais stop. 3 nuits, nous pas dormi, c'est l'amour, c'est vibe, c'est là.
Holy God!
Yeah, so tell us about that song.
All right. So
And I can tell you guys have a lot of fun working together. I like to see
yes,
the energy.
yeah, we do.
Yes, I can tell.
So initially we reached out to we spoke to the ambassador, Avondale Paul, here in Dubai, and then we reached out to Wadix, and we said, okay, we could put together a song for Wadix, pertaining to a tribute to him.
I'm going
for
to
what
play
he's
his
done.
song in a minute.
Thank you. And then we said, okay, well, Creole Festival is coming up. Why don't we try to figure out something and put something together for Creole Festival that's clean, unique, upbeat, and represents utilizing the fusion, including utilizing AI. So it took Mars, I would say, several tries. We have about 8 versions of this song. They're all good, but this is probably one of the best ones that we like, because it's not just you do the prompt, you tell it what chords to use, what instruments, and it puts it together. AI is still learning what bouillon is, right? So everyone out there, don't get scared. AI doesn't fully understand what bouillon is. It understands zouk, compa, sukus, right? Zumba, right?
And
Salsa,
was that a combination of like Afro and Indian music?
Afro, Indian, compa. We have a
Okay.
little salsa in there.
Okay.
It's infused,
Mhm.
based on the instruments, right? And then Maz did his magic and continued working on it.
I have to say, I do have, my biggest fan, but also, my toughest critic as well. So anything that I I put out there, obviously he's the first to hear it, and he'll be very honest with me. This doesn't sound like a track that should be out there. So, having somebody to talk to, and somebody, if you listen to Cedric's story and if you talk to him, you'll understand that he has a vast background in music itself. So just having somebody with that vast knowledge in music really helps when you're, coming up with your ideas. And for myself, I get in this zone sometimes where I can be stuck there for hours, sometimes days creating music. And when I come out of it, I think what I have is sounding great. But, if you talk to somebody like Cedric, he'll be honest with you and say, okay, well, you should consider this, or maybe take something out. And that's how we've, bonded even further, just being completely honest with each other and just working together.
Yeah, and have you made any traction with getting that song to penetrate Dominica? Because I know we've been playing it on Q95. Is anybody else playing it?
We've reached out to DBS. I think Kyrie. Eventually, we want to get all the radio stations, not only in Dominica, but the Creole-speaking countries. Not only to play this song, we have about three albums of songs. Zouk, Compa, especially a lot of Bouillon. For Maz, when he's in his groove, he can produce probably 10, 20 songs in an hour. It doesn't take long. It's a skill set. And once he tunes in, that's it. You just allow him to do what he does, and then you critique him afterwards.
Yeah, and that brings up a very important question, because we're talking about providing training opportunities for anybody who's interested in learning the skill. But was there a learning curve? How difficult was it, Mars, for you to learn and to, should we say master, or you're getting there? How was there a learning curve, you would say?
I mean, there's always a learning curve too when you're doing something new, especially, something involving AI. There's, as we mentioned, tomorrow there'll be a new model of something that comes out that's even better and bigger. So there's always going to be a learning curve in this field. But in general, using the tools that I know, I think I'm pretty well versed. I wouldn't say a master because things are changing. But I dial it down to just having a concept. So for anyone that's starting out, really think of a concept, whether that's an album or a song in general that you really want to just focus on or try. Start with the concept first and then build your way. Then you'll have, by the time you know it, you'll have a few songs dedicated to that concept. So for example, I have an album that's about spices. The first song is pepper, the next one is cinnamon. And really, no, honestly, you would think, okay, pepper, but these are some of the songs that people really, really enjoy and really love. Because, I have a concept of what they would sound like if somebody were to play this out loud in a big stadium or in a club. So yeah, those are some of the insights I would give.
Yeah, and I mean the potential is limitless if you think about it, because the same way you produced the song for me, imagine other people wanting songs created for them, right? So that is an opportunity. If you're a social media influencer, you're a radio personality, you want to gift a song to someone for a birthday, to celebrate their birthday, to celebrate an anniversary. Unfortunately, if somebody passes away and you want to have a song to honor their memory, I mean, the potential is limitless. So I hope that, we can continue to engage and push this through, because I see so many wonderful opportunities that can come out. And again, focusing on the positive, because there are negatives to AI, because, I was watching a PBS program last night, and now, unfortunately, people attaching themselves to AI companions. You guys are in the world, I'm sure you know what that is, where, people are using Chat GPT. Guys, if you don't know what that is, it's just an option for AI where they're using Chat GPT, and they have this whole relationship. This guy is driving in his car, and he has his AI on his phone, and they're conversing like you and I are conversing, and he's asking, I think, what did he call her? Serena. He's asking Serena, what are you doing today? And Serena is like, oh, nothing much. And his thought process was Serena is only prompted to give him positive feedback. because he has a wife who's terminally ill and she cannot provide emotional support for him. So Serena has been prompted to only give him positive feedback. Now, on the surface level, is that a good thing? Yes, on the surface level, that's a good thing. But then when you take a deeper look, he's been detached from reality. And we are now seeing cases where young people have engaged in this AI thing so much to the point where they have committed suicide because they were relying on AI as a therapist. And this one young lady said to the AI, you know, I'm going to kill myself after Thanksgiving. And if that was a real therapist she was speaking to, that therapist would have immediately called 911 to say, I have a suicide patient and she needs immediate intervention. But when you're using AI as your therapist, all AI told her was reach out to someone. Well, she did reach out to someone. She killed herself. You see what I'm saying? So the positives and the negatives, right? But going back to you, Mars, being with your Jamaican heritage, are you looking into producing reggae music as well?
I mean, yeah, that's something I wanted to mention to, you know, any of your Jamaican listeners. Don't worry, I have a lot of albums, a lot of songs of all different types of, you know, different flavors of Jamaica. So dancehall, reggae, you name it, even soca as well. Yeah, I like I mentioned, I try to touch on all the genres,
Right.
and it's been fun. It's really been quite amazing, just like I said, to see people receptive to it. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to release it and have people all over the world hear it.
Yeah, because I promise you, the likes of Marshall Montano, who is the soca king of the world, I'm promising you, he's having those conversations. Because the thing about these guys is that they embrace change. So they're always looking at what is the next level, what is the next elevation. And so with this program, I want our audience to be a little bit more receptive, a little bit more open to change, because again, for our young people in particular, if we do not adapt to the change, our young people are going to be left behind. They're going to be losing up on major opportunities. But I wanted to play this one. This is the song that you produced for Wadix. I don't have it on the screen, but I have it on my phone, so hopefully it works. Let me give it some volume. Oh, I have my earpiece in my ears, so let me take that off. But while I'm doing that as well, guys, in terms of ethics in AI, what are your thoughts on this? Should songs that are created by AI be labeled as such?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I'm part of a larger global community called Ethical AI.
Mm-hmm.
So my background is cybersecurity, risk, and governance, and
Mm-hmm.
I take this very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
What I think your audience need to understand is once you upload your voice to any AI platform, it is stored permanently. It is backed up thousands of times on different servers. You can never have them scrub it because it will always be there. With ethical AI, what we're trying to do is pass different laws in different countries pertaining to the governance and the use of AI maliciously. And sadly, it does happen, whereby malicious actors use your voice, and they only require about 3 seconds of your voice, and that's it.
Yep.
We're pertaining to the songs. This is where copyrights come into play. So even when Mars creates the songs, I listen to them. I listen to the beats, the chords, sometimes even the lyrics, to verify whether or not we've heard this before. And we try to make it as authentic as possible. And I would say 99.9% of the time, all the songs are authentic. But you may have others in the industry that do not care, right? How do you know if someone is reproducing your song? Let's say it's Asa or WCK or Serenade. The world is a big community, right? A tune, a chord. Sometimes I think based on the bylaws, they are allowed to copy a few seconds of your song, right, pertaining to the chords. But if they play it in, I think, the same way, then they are in breach of pertaining to your copyright protection. However, if you feed it to AI, they can say, well, we were not the ones who created the song, AI did. And they're still monetizing on that particular song. So now what we're looking into is embedding unique codes within that AI audio string. So that way your songs are protected.
Yeah, because that raises some very important questions. Because, for example, you produced the song, dedicated it to me. So, who owns the song?
Well, it's your song.
Yours now.
Those are important questions. Those are important questions because then it opens up the can of worm of copyrights. And then do you sign up with a copyright agency to copyright your work and to protect your work and to get royalties for your work if it's played on the radio?
That is correct. For now, what we can say is any songs that we shared with any of the radio stations in Dominica and environs, they're free to use on the radio stations. Any songs that we produce, let's say for your show, Wadix, and so on, it's yours. We will never take ownership of those particular songs. But moving forward, once we do go live with the global release, then there will be, copyrights and all the additional laws added onto it, and then fees pertaining to playtime and, being, how should I put it, being played at different events. We're trying to figure out a way around this. The songs are very, very good. And Dominica has just listened to 0.1% of what Mars has produced. When I say that some of them are Grammy award winning, they are Billboard chart songs. And it's not to say we're just using AI. We write the lyrics, he produces, and sometimes he's up, 2 days straight because he has to get it correct. And pertaining to Bouillon, he will tell you I brought him to school. I went all the way back to carry me. And I said, okay, this is what we listened to back in the day. So you have to become familiar with all the tunes from Zouk, Compa, Sukus. And I said, now put something together based on the tunes that you've heard. So it wasn't easy for him, but because of his background in music, it became easy for him to put together the Bouillon collaboration infused music that he's created.
You want to say something, Mars?
Yeah, the School of Cedric was something else. But I definitely enjoyed it and very, grateful that he was able to be, patient with me as we were going through this together and trying to create something special. So again, I thank him obviously for even just, like I mentioned, I joke about going through school, but it's needed if you're going to really tap into, other people's culture. Yes, Jamaica and Dominica is in the Caribbean, but everyone has their own culture. So you want to be respectful when you're, producing these songs and giving it out to people to hear. So that's something that I pride myself in when I release this music, to really, honor people that came before me, at least the sound, have it travel, past when we're here. So.
Right. Let me run the Wadix song. It should work this time because I took my headphones off. You can hear it?
Yeah.
Jamaica, Antigua, from the Lachon body baba. I did from the old days recording to create media stage. What the voice lift us up, cut your bone from the page. C'est pas just la musique, c'est héritage qui vit. Langue, rythme, mélodie, nous pas jamais quitte. Compass strings swaying, since playing sweet. God don't drum strong whenever the people meet. Cadix mené sous le soleil, sous la pluie. Put on fire, blazing heartbeat of what it's on to. Heartbeat of what it's culture proud and loud. Dominica rising, make the whole world proud. Heartbeat of what it's language strong and true. Young compa play dance. This song's for you. Heartbeat of what it's
From Roto Streets to Worldwide Zone, Sek, Nuka Viv, Aro Nuka Di, Zenu Kilti, Zenu Lit, Africa, Europe, Diaspora Rise, Dominica culture, fill the skies with Wadix, Long Natural Malverite, Heartbeat of Wadix, for Nuka, say Wadix, Freedom, forever life, say Dominica, we rise, say culture, we drive.
Yeah, so the AI has not yet mastered the Kadas perfectly yet, but at least you know it's saying Dominica, right? Right,
Right.
Cedric, because you know, if you
Yes.
guys had come on here, if I had listened to the songs and the AI wasn't saying Dominica, right, none of this would be possible. Because if it's the
So
one thing we do not tolerate in
I
Dominica
know.
is for you to say Dominica. Okay, so as long as
And
the
guess
AI
what it
can
got
say
wrong?
Dominica, go ahead.
It got that wrong initially, and we had to correct it several
Did
times.
it?
Yeah.
It got it wrong. So
Correct.
how did you get it to say it right, Mars? How do you correct the AI?
I mean, you can obviously speak to it. You can tell
Okay.
it. Yeah, you can say, okay, you should say it like this, or you could prompt it that way. But it takes, depending on how it comes out, you need to, like I say, coach it to really produce the sound that you want. So yes, you can throw all the lyrics in there, but it will do its own thing if you don't really put the parameters around it. So yeah, having the right parameters and just really coaching it to create that sound was something that took some time, and obviously having somebody from the island help speed up that process.
Yep. Yep, and that is
Um,
going to be so very important. That's why, initially I talked about collaboration, because to keep the music authentic, at least, you're going to have to know somebody who knows the culture of the music that you're trying to produce. But I wanted to play one more that is a different genre of music, just to kind of showcase your versatility. So let me play the first one Cedric sent me. So let's play this one.
Wine pam me, girl, don't let go. It's so sweet, set the dance on glow. Wine pam me, body and soul. Boy and fever, lose control. Wine pam me, girl, tonight's the night. Rhythm up, everything feel right. Wine pam me, close real tight. Boy on low, burning bright. Y'all step in the dance, waistline blaze. All man praise, everybody amazed. Bamboo no give rhythm so sweet. Boy on fire, mash up the street. Skin to skin, feel the heat inside. Caribbean love, can't run, can't hide. Grab one partner, 2x2. Tonight this boy on take over you. Come me girl, don't let go. It's so sweet, set the dance and go. Wine for me, body and soul. Boy on fever, lose control. From Rosewood town to Kingston Lights, from Miami to London Nights, Toronto, girl, port of Spring Crew. Boy, and the make them all brand new. Wine fast, wine slow, girl, set the pace. Hot sweat dripping, smile on your face. No man alone when the rhythm drop. Hold down slow, it mash non-stop. Say wine pan, say wine pan, girl, wine up, sweet. Boy, and beat on me. Boy, and beat, I repeat. Boy, and beat, I repeat.
So I can definitely see myself in a carnival band. But you are so right, because even with bouillon, it's saying bouillon,
Yes.
and there's no end. It's
Yeah,
spelled with an end
right.
at the end, but the word is bouillon, not bouillon, right? So still
correct.
some work to be done, but I wanted to showcase your versatility. But what was Waddick's reaction to his song?
Oh, he was ecstatic. Very, very, very pleased. I think, like you, he was shocked.
Yes.
And like you, we have several versions of that song for him. So we shared all of them,
Mm-hmm.
and he chose the one best suited for his show.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing when Mars produces the songs. Sometimes he plays with the different versions. Some songs we may have like 12 versions.
Mm-hmm.
I am a very, how should I put it, picky individual, a little perfectionist per se, depending on the listener's ear. When it comes to Dominica and our Booyah music, we have to get it correct.
Yes.
So we take the same approach for Zouk, Compa, Soukous. We did one salsa and merengue mix along with some compa and some Afro beats. So we take that same approach to make sure that the songs and the quality of the songs are on par. So
Mm-hmm.
now some of the songs that he's produced, we've released them at huge clubs here in Dubai, and then we're right now in discussions to go to Europe and do the same for them also.
So tell us about that. Tell us about that, Mars. About so your music is playing in Dubai at the clubs. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, that's
So
correct.
how did that come about? That I mean, congratulations. That's excellent.
Well, I think it might be Cedric's in his blood to just go up to people and talk to them.
Nice.
Maybe
That's
it's
how
a
you have to do it.
yeah, maybe it's a Caribbean thing. We're not really afraid to go up and showcase our our skills. So Cedric, him being him, we walked in and he said, "Here, listen to this," just like that,
Wow.
and they loved it from the beginning.
Mhm.
So that's been our approach.
Mhm.
We're here, so why not? Why not take the opportunity to go into these establishments and really show them what we can do?
Yeah, because one of the things you mentioned, Cedric, was the global release. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I want to get to what is your vision? What is your vision for this project? And guys, if you're just joining us, we're having a wonderful conversation. We're talking about from Dominica to Dubai. Our guests are actually all the way out in Dubai as Dominica's music continues to penetrate worldwide markets. Is AI a threat or an opportunity? And we're happy to be joined by Mr. Cedric Phillip from Dominica and Mr. Mars Beckford, aka Ollie Gold, the producers of the music that we've been enjoying. Ollie was born in California, grew up in Canada. His parents are Jamaican, so we call him a bouillon.
We are.
So
That
he
is
fits in
correct.
nicely into our culture. So we're gonna adopt him.
I accept.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the global release, tell us a little bit more about what that's all about, your vision for all of
Sure.
this.
So the vision that we have is we're building a platform for Mars whereby it's going to be unique. It's never been done before in the industry where customers can pick their own albums, right? Pick the songs to make their own albums. That's one approach. All different genres. Let's say they choose 12, 15, 16 songs, and then it's a flat price. If they want a custom song, they reach out to us. Mars produces the song based on their requests, information that we gather, or they share information, or they have a song or the lyrics for their song, and we're able to produce that for them and add it to the album for them. But the global release is that Mars has put together almost literally 2,500 songs. Literally, you will be hearing some of them on Billboard, and that is a challenge to every DJ in the world. When you hear the songs, you will understand what is capable with AI. And the idea now is to slowly release them in each continent, and then we're creating what we call an infused version of every genre. Where we have the original genre, R&B, hip hop, rap, soca, dancehall. However, we said, okay, why not just infuse it, make it modernized? And we started going out to different locations and playing it for the DJs that play globally. And they were blown away when we told them, well, Maz did this in about 15 minutes. And the idea now is to say, okay, how do we do this on a global scale? We're getting the platforms ready. Probably within the next couple weeks, I will send you a notification when it's ready, and then we're going to do what we call a global drop, where it'll be accessible in every country, and eventually the customers will get full access to it. We've been trying to release some free songs on the radio and then on our Facebook page and then his website. So patrons can listen to the songs, purchase them if they choose. But the whole idea is every week we will be dropping what we call a big song. I want to say a big song. It's a big song. If you go to one of our the Facebook page, we have one called Rodeo Girls, um, and we picture Sensia on a horse with dancehall, female artists singing the song. And it's a fusion of reggae, dancehall. Maz will continue the rest because he knows what he did to produce this.
Yeah, I mean, I took inspiration from, you saw Beyonce with her whole cowboy tour, doing that whole album. So I figured, why not bring that to the Caribbean and have our own version of what a rodeo reggae would look like. So that was the inspiration behind that song. Like you said, if you go to our Facebook, you'll be able to see a snippet of what it is. And yeah, we really do see somebody as big as Cynthia on the album, on that song. So
Yeah, and while we're at it, so I don't forget, tell me your website.
yeah, so it's you can go to olliegoldmusic.com.
Okay, let me write it down, and I have to spell it out for those who are listening on the radio. So guys, on the radio, because I'll post it on Facebook and YouTube, but if you're listening on the radio, it is going to be gold, so let me run that again. www.olliegold.com. And again, being receptive to new opportunities. If you're thinking, well, that's not for me, think about the young people in your lives, the young people who are interested in music, the young people who are stuck and frustrated because they don't see any opportunities, especially in Dominica. We have way too many young men who are dying by suicide and dying by gun violence because they do not see opportunities for their future. So anything positive that we are presenting, the idea is either you use it in some way. If it's not for you, you pass it on to your son, your grandson, your granddaughter, your niece, your nephew. Give our children hope. Give them hope that there is something positive that they can at least look into, because you never know what is going to inspire a child. You never know what is going to spark something in them that makes them say, oh, this is for me. So again, the website for our Q95 listeners, www.olliegold.com, and contact, email address, or phone number, guys, that you would like to share.
Yeah, sure. Phone number, 1-819
819
955
955
1688. And you can connect with me on WhatsApp.
Okay, so that's your phone number, Morris?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, so Morris Beckford. And I'm going to repeat that. Area code 819-955-1688. And he is available on WhatsApp. And finally, your Facebook page. I'm putting out everything out there, so everybody has good ways to get in touch with you guys. Facebook?
Facebook, we're just giving the official title of it. I think it's olliegold.com. Facebook.
No, it's probably just Ollie right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook. So again, Facebook, it's OLLIEGOLD if you want to. And if they go on Facebook, there's a lot of samples of the music and everything.
We have a few songs. We've put together the videos. We will be adding on some free songs on the Facebook page shortly.
So let me repeat all the information, because I want to make sure we're not rushing at the end to talk about it. Again, the website, www.olliegold.com. That is OLLIEGOLD.com. Phone number, area code 819-955-1688. And yes, he's available on WhatsApp. And on Facebook, Ollie Gold is on Facebook. So all the information that you need to get in touch with them. Anything else we haven't spoken about in terms of your vision, your challenges? What have been some of your challenges, especially as it relates to getting the music out there?
Wow, where do we start? So I think it's something you brought up earlier on, right? How receptive is the wider community around utilizing AI for music? We've had pros and cons, right? Some rave reviews and some, discouragements. Okay, well, are you using someone else's song, someone else's lyrics, the tunes? And the more we explain to them, no, 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 this is all genuine. But then on the other hand, we play songs for different. So the way I can describe Dubai, it's like the melting pot. It's similar to New York, but then it's just in the Gulf region. So you have all multiracial, multi-races coming into one location. But when you play songs for someone, let's say from an Asian country, and you see them bumping their head to Booyah or Soca, it moves you. You're like, okay, we have this. We're good. This is normally the best, I think, response that we receive when we play some of our songs in public.
Yeah, definitely. So the major challenge has been how receptive people are.
Correct.
Anything
Correct.
you can think of, Mars, as a challenge? Maybe the learning curve?
Yeah, obviously the learning curve and just trying to be creative, always coming up with something new and exciting. That's always going to be a challenge for any artist, I think, in any industry. Always staying on top of, what you're doing and trying to, make people happy with your art. That's a challenge in itself, and obviously, for the person that's creating it. So, in a way, it's kind of turned into an outlet for me sometimes when I am working on my business and, I'm stuck. I will turn to creating a song just to, release, what's going on. And that will either turn out into a song or an album, like Cedric say. It could be a couple of hours or a few days, but as you mentioned, could be an opportunity for people who are looking for a way to just express themselves in many, many ways or many formats. And with AI, you can do that. You can really produce a lot of great things. So I really do envision. You mentioned, what do you envision? I envision people in the Caribbean, young kids that are talented, that will use these tools to create new sounds. Maybe we'll have a new type of fusion of dancehall and reggae or soca or bouillon all together. So we just don't know, and it's exciting to really see where things can go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank you guys for being here. And I think it is so wonderful that we're having this conversation at this time because, as Cedric would have told you, it is Independence celebration in Dominica. Most countries celebrate their independence on one day, but we in Dominica, we special. We celebrate for the whole month of October, although our independence is November 3rd. And I have to tell you, it's my favorite time of the year to just completely immerse myself in the beauty and the wonder of our culture and our heritage. But the reason I'm really happy we're having this conversation now is because when we think of our culture, we have to think about preserving it, but we also have to think the part we often miss is advancing it. Right? So I think our goal when we, and Lambi, you're nodding, so I know you agree with me. I think when we think about our culture, many times we want to be stuck in tradition. And tradition is wonderful. I'm not saying we shouldn't honor our tradition. This is what our forefathers created for us. But my thoughts on culture should be preserve and advance. And what do we talk about when we talk about advancing? We talk about embracing new opportunities. We talk about not being resistant to technology. Because like you mentioned, Mars, it's a tool. Right? The same way so many of us were stuck. I remember back in the day when we were all afraid of the internet. Am I right or am I right? Back in the day when the internet first became a part of our world, we were all afraid of the internet. Oh, don't put your information. Yes, people can still steal your information. But think about all the wonderful benefits of the internet now, including our conversation. And then when I think about adapting to technology and adopting technology, I go back to, I'm an online learning professor, right? And back in the day, there was such a stigma against online learning. Oh, it's not authentic. How do you know the students are doing their own work? Well, there's something called a plagiarism checker, and there are tools that you can use. Right. So I just want us to keep in mind, and the same way, all of us are on WhatsApp, right? All of us are on WhatsApp communicating with people around the world, in the Caribbean, in Dominica. It's so bad that, now Dominicans don't even call me on the regular phone. Your phone have the option to just call a regular call. Nobody calls me. Everybody calls me on WhatsApp. I'm like, I'm in Georgia. You're in Georgia. Why are you calling me on WhatsApp? We're not overseas. So we have to think of these things as opportunities. We have to think of them as tools that can be used for good and for bad. And the other thing we have to keep in mind is that success is going to belong to those who master AI. That's what it boils down to. The success of our children are going to be dependent on the ones who can adapt to AI, because AI, artificial intelligence, it's not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, I was just looking at the news report. There's now an AI actress who's looking for work. Have you guys heard?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What was her name? I forgot her name. They've created an entire woman who's an AI actress, and now the actress is looking for work. And that is only the beginning, because now that somebody has seen that she's been created, other AI actresses are going to come aboard. And then before you know it, entire movies are going to be only AI actors, right? So we have to pivot. We have to navigate this world, and we have to figure out how can we work with AI, right? So going back to the whole merchandises, what are other opportunities within the music space to not become extinct because of AI, the collaborations between the real musicians, the musicians who've put in the work for 30 years, and now the AI musicians. So we have to zone in on the opportunities and not let the challenges and the negative keep us away from the opportunities. But guys, it was wonderful. Your final thoughts as we wind down, and I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with you. It's very exciting for me, because I love change.
So final thoughts is, Dominica, we have a gift for you for Independence Day. It's coming out soon.
Okay.
And final thoughts, congrats on your 100th episode. It's been a pleasure and an honor to even have you, listen and enjoy the music. So thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you will hear the music coming soon.
Yes, and as you're dropping it, just send it to me, and I will be sure. I'm going to pass it straight on to DJ Shan. We're actually going to have him on a program hopefully by the end of the year, because he as well is doing some great stuff in terms of, branching out. Because I tell our young people, Dominicans are so complacent. We get a job, we sit in the job, that's it, right? We're just going to do this job for 30 years. And then unfortunately you get fired, and then what? Right? So develop other skills, develop other skill sets, so that now you have other opportunities available to you. But guys, thank you for being here. It was wonderful. If you tuned in late, we've been speaking to Cedric Phillip and Mr. Mars Beckford, aka Oligo, all the way out in Dubai. What is the time now, guys? 6 o'clock?
Almost, yeah.
So it is about 10 o'clock for us, Eastern Standard Time, and it is almost 6 a.m. So I want to thank them immensely for staying up late. From what Cedric tells me, they don't even sleep over in Dubai. So for joining us at the wee hours of the morning to have this important conversation on the role of AI in our music, and not seeing it as a threat, but seeing it as an opportunity to advance our music as we continue to take our music to the world and to the worldwide market. So it's always wonderful to be here with you for another episode of Roots Connections on Q, as we continue the journey, as we continue to harness the power of international radio, social media, podcasts, and emerging technologies to leverage the skills and expertise of our Dominican and Caribbean experts around the world for the sustainable development, get the words, sustainable development of our island, our region, and our people. So again, if you are working on something, don't call me if you're thinking. You have to actually be doing, because we spend way too much time talking about what should be done, what ought to be done. No, if you're working on an important project, I would love to hear from you. I always give out my email address, but somehow people always find my phone number. So if you know someone who knows my phone number, you can always reach me through my phone number as well. I won't be giving out my phone number on the air, but if you would like to get in touch with me, you can do so at pushpast10@gmail.com. That is pushpast10@gmail.com. And I want to thank everyone who continues to support this program in one way or the other. Lambi, thank you for being in the studio as always. Mr. G, Showin, our engineer, thank you for keeping us connected and for all the great work that you're doing for our Dominicans at home and abroad. So guys, great being here with you. I hope you get a little nap before you have to go off to your conferences. But if not, then we will keep in touch. I will save your number. Mars, Cedric, I already have your phone number. So thank you for being here. And our listeners, our viewers on Facebook and YouTube, it is always wonderful to be in your company. I'm Dr. Simone Matthew. Until the next time, enjoy the Creole season. Enjoy the Creole season. And we are so happy for your support. We are now booked all the way to the end of November for this program. So thank you for your support. And we will see you again. Guys, thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, everyone. All right,
All
take care.
Good night. Take care. Well, good morning.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Roots Connections on Q, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. every other Wednesday on Q95, the big station. Dominicans journeyed beyond our shores for decades in search of economic opportunities and educational advancement.